is, what the resources are. We're going to talk about this is recorded. And so we're going to just really explore what's all out there around apprenticeship. If you have questions, please post those in the chat. If you have reactions, you can post, give me the thumbs up and all that good stuff as well. And then just kind of look at what's going on with apprenticeship. And if I don't have answers, I will happily get you with somebody who does. The individual who is going to be here with us today actually is not with the apprenticeship committee anymore. We have our very own Brittany Boston is currently staffing the Apprenticeship Illinois committee. And if you know of anybody who loves apprenticeships and is looking for fun things to do with apprenticeships, we are hiring somebody to staff this committee now. So all fun things. As we get started, just a couple things with the Icaps learning community. This is to fulfill the mission of the Transitions Academy. During these sessions, we share information, we ask questions, we learn from one another. So again, this is going to be open dialogue. Please engage, let us know what's going on, ask questions. This is both for adult education and career and technical education training partners, and we're providing a safe place to share challenges and provide support. So again, any questions you have or anything you want to discuss. Also, at the end, if there are topics you want us to really explore, we're always asking what are things that we can help you with when it comes to professional development through the Transitions Academy. And I'm going to let you take this slide, Sarah.
So some of you have had the opportunity to meet our Icaps consultant for the year, Doug Emery. Doug comes from Washington, and he is the former Adult Basic Education Director for Lake Washington Institute of Technology. And Doug, I think he has his camera on, so wave at everybody. There you go. And so Doug comes with a wealth of experience. He presented at the Transitions Academy on academic iBest, which iBest is the Washington model that's similar. Well, actually Icaps is similar to iBest, but we've been around a long time now as well. We've had Icaps for a long time, but iBest has been around a little longer. And also Doug has a lot of good experience in sharing with others about the value of the IET programs. So he is, I'm going to put his email in the chat, and if he can assist anybody, he is available for that, and even meeting with you at another time. So please take advantage of this very nice resource we have for you this year as part of the Transitions Academy.
So welcome, Doug.
Welcome. I was going to say here in Seattle, it's 50 degrees and raining. So no snow on the ground, but we do have 300 and some inches in the mountains right now.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So you guys have a nice mild climate out there in Seattle. I have friends out there who just love the Seattle area.
Yeah, after growing up in Chicago, the weather out here is balmy, no matter what it's doing by comparison. So yeah,
I'll take where we are now. I think we are at 38 today, but we were like at 4 on Monday. So I'm going to take my 38 and be happy with that. But yes, love the different weather that we have across the state. And again, Michelle said her kids are at like 70 and they're only an hour south of Illinois. So this is a big resource that we're going to talk about. If you haven't visited this website, this is the Apprenticeship Illinois website. And we're going to go there in just a second. I want to just kind of chat through a couple things first. This is the website that's put together to really coordinate through the apprenticeship committee of the IWIB all the work that is being done around apprenticeship in the state. So it
20 minutes without having to be in meeting.
It does touch on different aspects, and it does touch on registered and both registered or pre-apprenticeships and non-registered. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. What you're going to find on this website is the Illinois apprenticeship data. So if you're looking for data on apprenticeships or apprenticeships in your area, you're going to find that at the website. You're going to find what is apprenticeship. So looking at what does apprenticeship mean? What is a pre-apprenticeship? What is a registered apprenticeship? What does that mean? We're also going to talk about a mailing list. And so there's an opportunity there as a resource that if you want to get on the mailing list, they do a monthly mailing from this committee that sends out resources. They are both statewide resources and national resources when it comes to apprenticeship. There is job seeker help. So if you know people who are wanting to be a part of an apprenticeship, there's assistance for that or direction for that. Also, if you have employers or know of employers who are interested in partaking in apprenticeship, there's help for those individuals as well. Or if you're looking at your program and saying, you know what, I want to start an apprenticeship opportunity at my college, my program, my school. How do I go about doing that? This is a fantastic resource to get you that information. We're going to look at apprenticeship industries is also on here. What are the areas that we're looking at apprenticeship? Apprenticeship has really grown over the last few years. And when I was, just a little fun sidebar, when I was working on my master's degree, I did a lot of work on looking at the European model of apprenticeship and looking at the programs that we had within the state of Illinois to allow teachers to job shadow and have apprenticeships with industries in which they taught for career and technical education teachers within the state. And it was a program that existed in the state of Illinois up until the early to mid 90s, and then we did away with it. But my master's thesis was on the success of apprenticeships and whether or not teacher apprenticeships were beneficial to students. And by the way, they're very beneficial. So looking at apprenticeship industries, and I know there's several different sectors that do look at apprenticeship. Manufacturing is one that comes in by default, but a lot of times we're looking at IT, we're looking at education, we're looking at a lot of other areas as well. You're going to also see success stories when we explore this website. What are some of the success stories coming out of individuals who have engaged with apprenticeship? And then events. Back in November, it was National Apprenticeship Week, was in a week in November. And so there was a lot of events around apprenticeship and how to get the word out about apprenticeship. So some fun things that you can look at there. And then really quickly, we're going to talk about really the distinction. And I know many of you who are part of Transitions Academy, we've talked about this before, but I just wanted to put this out here so everyone is on the same page. There are both registered apprentices and non-registered apprenticeships. A registered apprenticeship are registered with the U.S. Department of Labor, and they meet 5 required components. So they have employer involvement, they have structured on-the-job training, they're related instruction, rewards for skill gains, and then industry credentials. So those are those registered apprenticeships. So when we're looking and using that vernacular, that's what we're talking about. And there are programs that have both registered or non-registered apprentices all across the state of Illinois. There's also the idea of a non-registered apprenticeship, which are not registered with the U.S. Department of Labor, but they might meet the 5 requirements outlined above. So really the big distinction between a registered apprenticeship is whether or not it's on the books with the Department of Labor. Then there is the pre-apprenticeship, which is really a nice avenue for our Bridge and Icaps programs. And it's a program with documented partnership and an employer, and is designed to prepare individuals to enter and succeed in an apprenticeship program. So there's a lot of apprenticeship programs that exist throughout the state. And then there's also a lot of pre-apprenticeship programs. So how do we create opportunities within our Bridge and Icaps programs to lead to an apprenticeship program when they are within career and technical education, moving through their degree program? There's also youth apprenticeships, which is designed for youth 16 to 24, currently enrolled in a secondary education or pursuing a high school equivalency. And so that's also a space for adult education. And really, when you're talking ICAPS and Bridge, we're talking more youth apprenticeship, but I know many of you are in that adult education space, that's where that youth apprenticeship comes in. Brittany, is there anything you want to add to those definitions? I know you've been working with those 3, because 2 of those are also work groups of the Apprenticeship Illinois Committee for the IWIB.
Yeah, not terribly, excuse me, too much that I want to add, but you'll notice that, like Amy said, that big distinction between the registered and non-registered is, as she said, on the books. But other than that, a lot of them can overlap with one another. And so that's kind of where it was decided we needed those defining definitions, because you can have quite a bit of overlap. And even within the work groups that we were doing, the pre-apprenticeship and the youth apprenticeship were together, and then decided there was enough distinction there that they needed to break apart and kind of have their own focus areas as well. But they can overlap quite a bit.
And if you're wanting to learn more, we're going to explore this website here. So we'll see if my link worked. Woohoo! Okay. So when you go, and the link I can post in the chat here.
I'll get that in there, Amy.
Oh, thank you. So if you haven't been to WorkNet, WorkNet is kind of like we're on recording, so it's the Walmart of the workforce development system. All right. Anything that you think you need or may want is on WorkNet. There's tons of stuff on WorkNet. A lot of times it does then link back to additional resources. So like when you're looking at adult ed or you're looking at ICAPS, IETs, those will come back to the sites that we have, and we intentionally designed it that way. But there's a lot of stuff on WorkNet. So you have that direct link, or you can just Google Apprenticeship Illinois, and this page will come up. Because sometimes it's hard to get around in that Walmart of the workforce development system. So I want to just kind of go through what's here. So there's the first options are to become an apprentice and the information center, and then employer information. So this site is designed not only for those of us who are in the education space that are looking to learn more about apprenticeships, but it's also designed for businesses. So if you are, this could be one of those resources that you have in your arsenal as you're going out and talking to businesses. The Information Center is just a kind of a fun space because it talks about everything that's on. The nice thing, the way that they set this up, is what's on the page is always at the top. So funding opportunities, if you're looking, saying, you know what, I want to get some apprentices going at my college, my program, my institution. How do I do that? What are the funding opportunities? And there should be some grants coming out. They're actually going to be released fairly soon. And then resources for apprenticeships, professional development, apprenticeship report resources, sign up for the mailing. So you can go and do that now if you'd like to. Employers who need help, job seekers, these are all the different areas that we just kind of talked about before. It's going to talk about the committee. It's going to look at the professional development. And right now, there's online resources from National Apprenticeship Week, which we'll come to a little bit. And then just some fun resources. So looking at where you want to go into, if you want to go into construction, if you want to go into healthcare fact sheet, any of those things, this is a really nice place to find those resources on apprenticeships. Then I'm going to take you back. The latest information on the apprenticeship. This is a sample of that monthly newsletter that comes out. So this is the January 2021 one, sorry, 2022. We are, yes, 2 years into the pandemic now. It just talks about the work that is being done. It talks about the National Apprenticeship Week, kind of an overview of what the NAW covered. Also just where apprenticeship is in the news, and there's a lot of fantastic articles here. So again, this is a resource that if you're looking to upskill your knowledge base on what apprenticeships are or how they operate all across the state or all across the country, this is a great resource. And this is just a free email that you can just sign up for right there. As I say, I think she has another section down here as well into podcasts, because there's a lot of fun podcasts on apprenticeship, and then showcasing special programs throughout the state. And then the pledge, which is a JFF, new businesses are encouraged to represent U.S. apprenticeships and hiring practices. And just, again, just a lot of fun stuff when it comes to the apprenticeship programs that we have. It has some fun data for us. So if you're looking at data, you have the Apprenticeship Illinois data for Q2 2021. We all are aware of that data lag that does exist. And so right now we have, or at that point we had 16,393 active apprentices within the state of Illinois. 515 are registered apprentices. 4,661 are new apprentices since FY20, and then 32 new programs have started this year. And you can, just kind of look and learn more about that. The what is apprenticeship? We talked about those things, and again, you're looking at additional resources on any of these. If you want to, curious about approved occupations for registered apprentices, you can click there. Learn more about pre-apprenticeships, you'll learn more about youth apprenticeships. And then if you want to learn more, or you have people who want to learn more, employers wanting to learn more, they can sign up and submit information. And these are actually channeled to an individual who will answer your questions. So her name is Kim Kuchenbrod, and she is the talent pipeline management person for DCEO, but she is fielding questions about apprenticeship all day long. It is a real person though, so you're not going to get a bot answer. You're going to get a person who's going to reach out to you and answer that question. And then when we talk about apprenticeship industries, you're looking at advanced manufacturing, construction, energy, healthcare, business finance. Again, there are several areas that a lot of people don't necessarily think of, but in this job shortage time where we're looking for, we have all these jobs to fill across hospitality industry, across IT, across manufacturing. Apprenticeship is a really nice way to get your foot in the door for our students and to build that experience level. And then if you're looking for success stories, not only can you find some, but you can also submit some if you do have a program that does currently have an apprenticeship program. So I've talked a lot. I want to kind of open the floor now for questions and see what you guys would like to learn more about.
Amy, this is Christina Manchin. I
Hi.
just slipped a link in the chat that is from the Competency Model Clearinghouse. It has, like, if you want to start building a apprenticeship program, the competencies that you might need to consider to include in your plans and stuff. And they're set up like in a building block. They're
Now, open
really
that up.
pretty
There we
cool.
go. Can you all still see that
Yeah.
screen?
If
Did
you
you
click
follow?
on one of it down there, it says industry models.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure you followed me because sometimes Zoom
Okay,
follows me and
yeah.
sometimes Zoom doesn't. So
So
building,
those-
oh yeah,
Zoom is cooperating with you today, Amy. It's all good.
right. It gave me a whole new room to be in. I've never been in this room before. I came on and they put me in here and I was like, oh, well, this is nice. Not sure where I'm at, but I like the chairs. Those look comfy. So let's pick one. Hospitality and tourism sound like fun, guys?
Beautiful.
So yeah, this looks like a
Roll on
fantastic
down.
resource.
For me, when I was looking at doing a pre-apprenticeship, these bottom tier, would be place to start to incorporate those competencies into a bridge or an Icaps, because there you've got reading, writing, arithmetic. And actually, I think if you click on them or hover over them, it actually explains a little more about it.
It does, look at that. Yeah, and I think if you really look at your foundational for bridge or ICAPS, that's going to give you that nice tier 1 and even into tier 2.
Yeah.
Actually, I would say all the way through, really going all the way through tier 3, and we're looking at integration and contextualization for the tier 4. So this is fantastic. Thank you for sharing, Christina. This is great. Any other questions, comments? So yeah, when you look at the building blocks, everything foundational would be in your ICAPS, IET, and even some of the contextualization and integration would be in that industry related as you move into the industry related tiers of 4 and maybe not into 5, but definitely 4.
Yeah, if you look up, even up in the top, there are lots of tools up there. And it gives you checklists to talk to employers about. I mean, I love this website when I was looking at pre-apprenticeship programs.
This is great. Thank you for sharing.
I think that visual would be great to show students also, because sometimes they need to see that what they're learning today really is a part of, the larger picture of what they need to be successful in this particular field.
And there's a competency model technical assistance guide there that looks very nice. But again, we walk the walk and talk the talk about integration and contextualization, which I think would really fit in with all of those foundational level areas. This is great. I'm going to share this with Capit too. This is fantastic. Any other questions, comments?
Curious, Amy, if you don't mind me asking the particular question, is anybody out there involved with their colleges with some type of an apprenticeship program or a pre-apprenticeship already that they could tell us a little bit about? Or you're here because you want to learn more so you can start that process?
I'll say we are on paper. We have the Capit grant,
I was
and
going to say, I know a couple of you guys have Capit grants, but go ahead. Yeah, tell us more about that. I love how you say we have it on paper.
yeah, I could say that we've never been able to attract a student to, we have an ICAPS IT program, but we've never been able to attract anyone to it or our IT bridge. Typically, when they come in for the apprenticeship cap it. They kind of scoop them up at whatever level they are and able to work with them. So I hesitate to say too much more. I might get myself in sticky water.
It's not a space you're gonna get in trouble, but I do understand.
It's
And I will say IT is one of those things that we just had a discussion, that was yesterday, I believe. This has been like a week that is like never ending for me, so apologize. But yesterday, I think we had a presentation on how, you really need to make sure that you're customizing your messaging when talking to IT, because, and I'll be honest, I'm so guilty of this. Like, my husband works in the IT space, and I'll be like, yeah, we need some coding. And he's like, Amy, it's not like flour. Like, you don't just say, I need some flour, and everybody knows exactly what you want. Like, there's Java coding and there's Microsoft coding, and I'm like, oh, okay. And by the way, there's like 6 different kinds of flour, because I do exist in the baking space. So I didn't really love his analogy, but at the same time, it's that idea of making sure that we're customizing our ask, or customizing what our program does to meet the needs of the employer. I want to know, like, just show a virtual hands here. Are they able to show their hands? Can they raise? Okay. How
Yeah.
many of you are interested in apprenticeships, or have at least heard that word and are like, I want to know more about it? Do any of you who have your hands raised have specific questions that maybe we can help with, or at least point you in the right direction? You can unmute. This is a good space.
Not right now, but I'm going to look more into the resources you provided and definitely reach out if I have any questions.
Please do. Please do. And the other thing that I want to make you aware of, as I said, there are, so you have the Apprenticeship Illinois Committee that meets regularly. I think they meet quarterly. And then there's work groups around pre-apprenticeship and youth apprenticeship, and those are open. So it's an open meeting. And so if you're wondering what's going on, or you're wanting to learn more, or you're wanting to hear what the, those individuals who are on those committees are saying, feel free to attend. If you have, let me pop over here again. If you're on, whoop, see, the downside of 3 screens is it takes me a while to walk over to this one. If you're on this screen and you go back to the home page, which is what I love about WorkNet, because there's really no home page. Hang on. See, there's issues with the Walmart, but don't tell people I said that. If you go down here, I know it's like I'm taking you on a weird maze in the middle of nowhere, but you'll get there. There's a calendar, iWeb membership calendar, which you can see any of those meetings and see when those meetings are taking place. And they're all virtual right now. So it's not like you have to pack up your bag and drive somewhere. You can just pop on a Zoom and listen to what they're saying. Oop, let me get back to this. Oh, no, this one. Any other questions? And you have your hand up. Do you have a question for us? Nope. Okay. That's all right. I do encourage you to, number one, use the link, go get on the mailing. I know you all probably only get like 6 emails a day, so you're dying for more. I'm just totally kidding. We're all getting like, what, 150, 200 emails a day? But get on the list, because it's a great resource. It really is a lot of fantastic national resources and statewide resources that are being compiled and shared out. And everyone on the committee is kind of contributing to those. So that's a really great resource. And then go on that website and explore. I also am very excited about, Christina, what you shared with us, because I think that's a really fun website to look at. And Career One Stop is a national platform. It's kind of like the WorkNet of the whole country. So go on there and look as well. Doug, you have your hand up. Do you have a comment?
Yeah, this seems like a really great model for Icaps. And I'm just wondering, we talked a little bit about the fact there wasn't a lot of student demand. What's the employer demand for, some students coming out of pre-Icaps or standard Icaps or something like that? Are they playing in this model, or are they kind of divorced from it?
Tell me more about, are we engaging with employers or?
Yeah, I'm wondering how, if we had an Icaps program, for low-level students, are those students, when they graduate, are they attracted to employers, or employers, asking for students at that level? Or because here in Washington State, I had a little bit of difficulty getting the different apprenticeship groups to, welcome the diversity of the students that we sometimes were training through our IBEST program, your Icaps program. So if you just had a sense of how employers feel about students coming out of these programs, that would be really helpful.
I would say in my area, I know employers are looking for individuals who have that training skill set. So if there is an apprenticeship within manufacturing, and that's really what's growing right now in Central Illinois. And I know that Rivian, who is right in my back door, right out that window, doesn't really exist. They're looking to build apprenticeship programs with our community college. They're looking to bring on employees. I mean, they're really kind of desperate for anywhere that can get them the trained, skilled employees that they need. So I think it's a matter of seeing what the need of the employees are or employers are, and seeing if we're able to meet that need. I will say, like, healthcare is a big one right now across the board. And I know that there's a nursing shortage, there's an education shortage. I mean, I think there's pretty much a shortage everywhere. So if we could get something established, but those are more local, I don't think I am not aware of, I will say it that way, of a statewide, hey, we're working with all the manufacturers to set up apprenticeships across the state. But that could be happening through TMA, which is the something Manufacturing Association, I'm forgetting the T. And then Angela, I know we have a big push through the CAPIT program within our state, which is a DOL grant program to work with IT specifically. So we're working with 10 different community colleges to build IT apprenticeships, pre-apprenticeships, registered apprenticeships, anything that looks like an apprenticeship within the IT sector. But a lot of this is at the local level and what those local areas are able to work with. And then within this program, we have on the board is Aon, and Aon does a lot of work with bringing on apprentices, and they've had a lot of success with apprentices. So they're one of our champions in the Chicagoland area to talk about the benefits of apprentices. Angela, anything I missed there?
Not really. I know that when we are looking at the state level to approve programs, ICAPS proposals of what they're wanting to do, one of the things we're hoping to see, it's not necessarily a requirement, but it's strongly encouraged, is how are employers involved? Are they helping with the curriculum? Are they helping with some of the work placement? Are they helping drive, making sure the particular ICAPS is on the LWIB, the local workforce chart. So there's not necessarily direct connection, but we're hoping that through the ICAPS, they are able to reach out to at least a few employers to get started. And maybe those are the employers that come in and talk about, here are some expectations when you go apply for a job. Here's what we are looking for. It's not just your teacher saying you have to put your phone away. We are also saying you have to put your phone away.
So at the local level, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's right. So, I mean, there is some connection to the employers, hopefully, going on, but it's not a done deal that if you don't, then we're not going to approve the ICAPS. But that is something that we like to see within the ICAPS.
Yeah, that's very similar to what we do here, or what one of the Washington State issues has been getting really strong employer engagement for the IBEST program. If you think about it, just in terms of generating student demand, the employers could be your best marketing source if they really were telling people there are jobs available as soon as you walk out the door of this program. That'd be a huge benefit.
Well, and I know that there's some stats, I know there's somewhere on that website about how many apprentices do get hired on full-time afterwards. And mostly apprentices within the state of Illinois, and I don't want to say all, but a good percentage are paid apprenticeships because of the WIOA partnership that you have. And then those of you who are at local areas, if you do not know who your intermediaries are, or if you have not heard the term intermediary, and if this is the first time you're hearing it, I encourage you to reach out. And if you don't know who they are, reach out to Brittany or I, or actually reach out to Kim. Can we put Kim's email in the chat? And Kim will be able to tell you, because she trains the intermediaries for the state of Illinois. And those are those individuals who are going between your programs and the businesses and are really coordinating with the LWIAs and are coordinating with your workforce development system. And those are very valuable people because they're going to do a lot of that legwork for you. So if you know them, I see Jamil nodding, maybe he's best friends with one and had a beer with one last night, fantastic. If you don't know who yours is in your area, find out who they are because they're being trained through the workforce development system to support apprenticeships across the state. I don't know if they all drink beer though, so.
We'll have to
thank you.
check and see if
That's
that's a
a great answer.
requirement.
Yeah.
You know, and I would think right now is the prime time to engage with employers because employers have something that they really need. And we have that, you know, we have what they need. And that is potential employees, and we can help train them in a way that prepares them to be good employees. And that visual that Amy had up before that Christina shared with us from that great website showed those foundational skills. And those are some of the pieces that we're teaching in adult ed. So if there was ever a time to convince employers to engage and to partner, now is the time.
And I will say the businesses that I've talked with about apprenticeships are eager to have people involved and they find success. Now, you're going to have some people say, you know what, that seems like a lot of work. Like we've got to do this, we've got to do that. But the return on investment is fantastic. And to Doug, I think one of the points that you made is have the businesses be the champions for you. Have the businesses talk about how well your programs have worked for them, or ask around. And that's where those intermediaries will help you, will be your new friends, because they're going to be able to say, hey, this business already had an apprentice, and this was the success that they found. What other questions do we have? And yeah, so Brittany put in Kim's email and then my email or Brittany's email. I noticed she put ours too first. I was like, Brittany, you gonna put your own email in there too?
I put it in there and then I realized I missed the E on your name.
Hello, Amy. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Jamil. How are you?
I am doing great. I got a general question. This is from a high level standpoint of view. Are you aware of any pre-apprenticeships that really target maybe individuals with learning disabilities or those that are basic skills deficient?
I think I'm not
I
aware of
hate
any.
using that term, by the way.
No, I understand what you're saying though. And I
Yeah.
will say that if you look at pre-apprenticeships and you look at those foundational skills that I've got up on the screen now, when you're looking at workplace competency, academic competence, and personal effectiveness competencies, those really tie back with our essential employability skills. And I am aware of, there are particular, and I don't know if they're classified as apprenticeships or if they're just classified as work-based learning opportunities, but there are opportunities for those individuals who possibly have a cognitive impairment or a physical disability where they are working with businesses to see the value of
Okay.
quality of work that they provide. And one of the areas, I just blanked, but Autonomy Works. So some of the work that Brittany and I do is with individuals with autism and
Yeah.
individuals who are on the spectrum and where they can find employment opportunities. And I know that those are more, they start off as on-the-job training, and then they move into work-based learning, and then they move into full employment. So it's not necessarily apprentice, but there's those opportunities are out there. So I can put you in touch with those individuals. But again, if you're talking about an Icaps program though, I don't know that we have anything specific, but I don't know why we couldn't.
Because, it's just that category of learners that I struggle to place in employment training opportunities, because they have the initiatives, they have the want to, and they often have goals that are beyond. I wouldn't limit them to say they're beyond their capabilities, but they have lofty goals. And so, I was just trying to create meaningful pathways for them as well.
Absolutely. And I know there's a lot of work being done right now around career pathways for individuals with disabilities, both cognitive and physical, and looking at ways in which we can get them into the workforce. And Again, that is a very broad range of individuals, so
Yes.
it does depend, and there are particular, I'm going to acknowledge there are particular career pathways that, for example, if you want to be a firefighter and you have, there's certain criteria you have to meet to do that. We all know that.
Yeah.
But I do think there's a lot of opportunity there, and apprenticeships are a really nice way to get in that door. So I would kind of look around and say, okay, what are some areas that these individuals are interested in? And then how can we approach business about getting them in as apprentices?
Okay, thank you.
Does anybody else know? I mean, I kind of spoke to that, but is anybody else aware of apprenticeships or pre-apprenticeships?
It looks like Autonomy Works has a list of similar organizations, so I put it in the chat. Maybe that could support Janelle's question.
Yeah, and if you're not familiar with them, check out their website, but we've also had them twice now on a webinar. We had a panel on neurodivergent employment opportunities on Tuesday. Was that Tuesday? Again, this is like the longest week. And it's a fantastic week. We've done a lot of great stuff, and it's like, woo, we've done a lot in just this week. And so if you haven't seen that, that's on the apprenticeship. That's on the Autism Training and Technical Assistance website. It was a fantastic webinar, really looking at opportunities, and then also look at Autonomy Works. And David Friedman is the owner and president of Autonomy Works. And he is also, his son is on the spectrum, which is how that all got started. And he's also a member of the IWIB and serves on the Career Pathways Targeted Populations Committee, as well as, I think he is on the Apprenticeship Committee, but I'm not positive on that one. Any other questions, comments? Get us back to our presentation. So if you think of something, because I'm going to get to our next slide here. Actually, I'm going to go back for just one. I'll leave it there. But for just 1 second, if you think of anything, if you're like me, like you have thoughts later, like on that drive home or at another time, or when you're at the basketball game and the kids are playing like they're 5 and they're actually 15, because 5-year-olds are really cute to watch when they're 5, but not when they're 15. But anyway, I don't like recorded things. It makes me remember that I'm recorded. But if you have questions as you move forward, come back and ask us those questions. We're here as a resource for you. And if I don't know, or if Brittany doesn't know, we're going to point you in the right direction. Kim is a phenomenal resource when it comes to apprenticeships, and she was not able to be with us today, but she's a fantastic resource. So, and if you're looking for those intermediaries, again, if you haven't started or engaged with those individuals, or you're looking to start an apprenticeship program in your program, reach out and find out who those people are, because they're going to help you do that local legwork. All right, Tara, I'll let you take us home today.
Amy, could I just mention real quickly before, well, I know we have tons of links in the chat. So maybe we can send those out to people afterwards, if that would be helpful. And one of them that Brittany put in the work that Amy was referencing a bit ago, but before that, there's also a link to so many resources that are part of the Transitions Academy. And since this Icaps, there we go, right there. Thank you for bringing that up. Since their Icaps learning community is about resources, we want to make sure that we share this with you as well. All the recordings, there's a bunch of other information. When you see there's TA resources, there is one of the top red items. So just want to keep bringing you back to that there's an Icaps manual that's referenced there, the Icaps office hours that Amy just mentioned on the slide. And I think Tara's going to tell us just a little bit more about when she takes us home here. So I will stop talking and let her finish up for us.
Well, wonderful. I was just going through the chat and taking notes. I know I can go back to the recording, but I was just taking notes, so we can go ahead and send those things out via email. I think that's a good idea. And someone already said in the chat that that would be helpful. So we will do that. We'll get the Zoom attendance report and send out an email, probably that way. And yes, I posted the next ICAPS office hours is February 28th. So you can click there to register. And ICAPS office hours is really a time for you to come. You can either come to listen, come to ask specific questions. Angela Gerberding from ICCB. There she is. She's at ICAPS office hours. And, you know, a lot of times after a question has come up or something, we have connected people with CC if it's kind of like a data related situation. We've had all kinds of matters come up that we've been able to talk and share and work on. And if you want to come to listen, that would be great. It's at 2:30 on February 28th. And you can pop in and out. It's meant to be an online office hours. So we welcome you to come to that. And by doing that, by registering, you'd also be signed up if you want to come back on March 28th or April 25th. And Pamela, I see that you said, would it be possible to do a webinar on Apprenticeship 101? Does anyone want to take that question?
I believe we have one, and if we do, I'll find the link to it on what is apprenticeship and all the apprenticeship parts. And if not, yes, we would be happy to do one, but I want to know a little bit more what you're asking for. Do you want, like, what are the distinctions between the types of apprenticeship, or introduction to apprenticeship, or how to engage business with apprenticeship? What are you looking for in that 101? Because that tells me who I need to line up to be your speaker.
Thank you so much, Amy. I couldn't type fast enough, so I can give.
No, unmute, yeah.
But what I was looking for is, I mean, like, I understand what apprenticeships are.
Okay.
I meant by like a 101, like, if you wanted to get started, here is what you need to do, and like kind of, I know
Okay.
it's like labor intensive, but like walking us through a steps. We've tried to approach this several times at our college. But for whatever reason, either on the employer side or on our side, we just haven't been able to move forward. And, you know, I have gone, like, I've looked at the website, the apprenticeship website, and I just felt so overwhelmed. And I've talked to people, you know, but I just feel like I just need a little step-by-step of,
Yeah.
here's how you get started. So I don't know, did that answer your question?
It does. And I'm wondering, so a couple things. One is I can see if Kim could do that for us as a webinar, but in addition to that, have we shared with this group about the, hang on, exit full screen. Sorry, you're following my brain and it's a very scary place to be. All the work that's done on ILWO PD around apprenticeships, because they have a full training on apprenticeship. You're going to see the back door of it. But anyway, have you guys seen this site before?
No, I have not.
No? Okay, so that might be something that we want to share, because let me see real quick. Hang on, let me go back to this so you're not staring at weird stuff. And then let me see if I can pull up where I can show you, because there's a whole curriculum that we have developed on apprenticeship to introduce people to apprenticeship, which I think, Pamela, you might be able to go on and find what you're looking for there.
Okay, that's great.
But let me see if I can find that while we're wrapping up. So go ahead and wrap us up, Tara, and I'll look over here.
Amy,
Okay.
can I just say one thing before Tara wraps up?
Mhm.
I just wanted to tell you all thank you. I've just attended a lot of your sessions over the years in my role. And, you know, I'm just very appreciative of the work that you all have been doing, and particularly how you switched during the pandemic and offered a lot of trainings, and really have been trying to reach out to everyone and make sure that we get what we need. So I just wanted to say thank you for all the hard work that you all have been doing to make sure that we are able to, you know, do what we need to do.
Well, thank you for saying thank you. That's awesome. We are so excited that you acknowledge and appreciate that, because yeah, we love what we do.
Absolutely. I
Can you
second
all
that.
see this screen now, the Illinois? Again, see, this is my trial. Can you see the Illinois Apprenticeship Academy?
No,
Not
it's
right
just your
now, but
slide.
What are you looking at now?
it's
Your
on
slide.
the presentation from today.
Oh,
Future ICAPS.
resume share? How about that one? Now what are you looking at?
Yep, we
Okay.
see it.
So this is the Apprenticeship Academy, and this, I think Pamela might help you a little bit, but I'll still talk to Kim. But it talks about, a lot of stuff you might not need, but workforce GPS success factors, introduction to talent pipeline management, foundations of registered apprenticeship. This was the kickoff to the expansion grants that went out, but you can go in and take any of these. Like these are just free, an apprenticeship Illinois overview, get your certificate there. So like any of these things are available that have been. Yes, I got it. You're opening a pop-out window. Oh, I already took that class, sorry. But here, let me retake the course for you. But you can go in and it really walks you through, what is apprenticeship? Oh, sorry, it's telling you about the course and how you take the course. What's going to be covered in there. Here are your presenters throughout this course. Some of these people you might know. Talks about the Iowa Apprenticeship Committee, talks about Mythbusters. So this might be something that if you're looking for that 101 that you can keep coming back to might be helpful.
So much.
What is apprenticeship career pathways? There are some videos embedded in here as well. And you can either click through or you can use the navigate. Oh, see, I get sparkles when I go through.
So Amy, I think we may also want to note too that you will have to request access for that because they'll have to have login information and everything in order to.
So if you
To
go
do those.
if you go to ilwoapd.this and you go in to start the training, you can request access that way. So you go to this page, and if you noticed, I'm La Follette over here. On the other one, I was going to be Julian. So I'm two different people on these trainings, but this allows me to look at it as a student, and you can sign up or you can log in. And if you are already signed up, which I know a couple of you by your names, I know you're already in the system. If you want access to this, just do it and like sign up, and then we'll approve or disapprove, which we'll approve.
That's great.
Thank you for clarifying. There were a couple of comments in the chat about that, so thank you. I like those trainings and the way they're set up. So we are in March, we're going to take a pause for the Icaps virtual learning community due to IASA, because this is our date is the same as the IASA conference. So we encourage you all to go to that. And we will be back, however, on April 14th, and we will send reminders. We'll put that in the PDM pulse. So you can make sure to, you'll get it in your email for that too. So is everyone signed up for the PDN listserv? Let me put that in here real quick, just in case.
And
I think we
then
need one more link, Tara. So if you can put
one more link in the
that would be
chat,
great.
please.
It's a really important one though.
It is, though, that, you know what? We've had great links. They're all important.
Yeah,
There's,
They are.
Good links.
They are. It's a really good link.
And then
remember, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, she's posted that in there. As always, if there are topics you want to hear from us, there's topics that you're saying, this would help me improve my ICAPS programming. I want to hear more about what Doug did with iBest. I want to hear more about apprenticeship. I want to hear more about servicing students who have disabilities. How do we provide ICAPS for them? Let us know. Those are the three that I'm coming up with out of today. But if there are other things you want to learn more about, that's what we're here to do. ICSPS and SIPDC are here to support the ICAPS programming, the bridge program that's going on in the state. And so whatever we can do to support you, let us know, because we usually have a good idea, but we also like to hear from you over and over again, because then that lets us know that we're hitting our marks.
Absolutely. And Amy already put her email in the chat. If you want to send that, there's my email. Please do be in communication with us. That'll help us so much for planning and, again, getting you what you need. And Amy and Brittany's emails are in the chat. I think if you go to the sign up, I'm already signed up, so it just logged me in to the WIOA PD training. But if you go to the sign up, Amy, doesn't it automatically send the request for access?
Yes.
Okay, and if not, is it okay if they email you?
Yes, if you have any issues, email me. But when you sign up, you should automatically get a, hey, I've been let in. And when you go, you'll be able to pick, like, everything I showed you was in the apprenticeship college. There's also like an IWIB college and stuff like that. I'm sure you probably don't care about that stuff. But if you want to sign up, it's all fun and exciting public information.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
I mean, if Netflix has gotten boring for you, come check out the LMS. We got a lot going on. It's just like Ozark without anything that has anything to do with Ozark. Can we scrub this recording before we publish it? Thanks.
One of the things that I learned, and it might be helpful to everybody, and I just learned this in my meeting right before this, is in the chat, there's 3 dots, and if you click on that, it saves the chat.
Yeah.
Somewhere in your, I have to find out where in my computer, I just saw it, but then you have all those addresses and all that, the resources that you lovely folks just put out. So
And
I do that, then click and then bookmark it as an extra, but just.
And Michelle, when you do that, it actually says show in folder and it'll tell you where it's saved in your area.
Oh.
So when you click those 3 dots and click save chat,
Uh-huh.
and then it pops up, it says show in folder, and it will tell you, it will show you where it's saving.
Okay. See, I learned 2 new things today.
Yeah.
Yeah, when things come together like that, you just learned it, you could share it and help more people learn that. So yeah, if you all want to go ahead and do that, that would be fabulous.
A
Then we'll all
learning
have
community,
answers.
because we're just learning so much from each other. So thank you
Exactly.
for, but we will, Tara, right, still be able to send the recording link and the links, that all those links just in an email to make it easy for people if they'd like it later. Right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
See how good Tara is? She goes, yeah, that's good. Got it.
Icaps VLC chat. I love how you did the show in folder too, Amy, because Michelle, I always had the same thing. I would save the chat and then I'm like, I don't know where that is. And then sometimes when I'm looking for things, I see like 400 Zoom chats. And I was like, I wonder where those came from.
Well, and Angela asked me for a chat the other day and I can't find it. And I'm like, okay, I need to do this to just see where it went.
Totally.
Yeah, it saved mine just to document, so that's awesome. But I get paranoid, so then I open it and then I bookmark it too, just in case. So.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So helpful. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. We will also post the recording of this Icaps VLC on the Excellence in Adult Education website under the Icaps VLC tab. So in case you want to share it for any reason, that'll be posted there as well. But otherwise, we will see you on April 14th. There'll be reminders in the post and probably a reminder through our Transitions Academy list as well. So thanks again for joining us. Thank you, Amy and Brittany. Thank you, Doug, for coming. And thank you all for being here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.